Everybody, Chithunian and Lance here, bringing you the ready video today where we talk about Blue Eyes and more stuff to come out of the Legendary Collection stuff that I wanted to talk about. Mainly, I want to talk about something that might actually be really healthy for the game, and that is some of the casual players making their move to the competitive scene. And I'm going to dive into deeper as to how this is going to be effective and how this is going to work. So let's just jump right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that if you want to be a competitive player and you're a casual player and you just haven't been able to make that jump or leap, if you will, now would be the best time to do so, because there's going to be at least 2 competitively viable decks, I think, that are going to be reprinted. One of them hasn't been really confirmed, but one of them kind of has been, at least. So we're going to just go right into what I think is going to be really cool. So I think that Blue Eyes, while it's not topping on any regional level, it's still a very good tier 2 deck, and people still really like to play this deck. Plus, it's really in need for some really crucial reprints. For example, mainly I'm going to be talking about like Alternative Dragon and Return of the Dragon Lords. Both of these cards command insanely high prices. And having a reprint of either one of these would make it very easy for the competitive player or the casual player going into the competitive scene, or just a person who wants to build Blue Eyes in general, would pick these cards up because they are so powerful, and because they haven't been reprinted before. It would just lower the cost for them significantly. We also could very well see Chaos Max and Chaos Form reprint, which I wouldn't be totally against. The cards both command like I think a $5 to $6 price tag, so having a little bit of a cheaper variant of that card would be really nice. It's kind of really nutty that we haven't really seen any Blue Eyes support announced up until this point, but I really hope that they're reserving that for like when they just drop the big leak the day before or whatever. It's going to be really, really good. It's really good for the game of Yugioh. If we actually have reprints of one of the best decks in the game of Yugioh, in a long time in Blue Eyes. I also think that ABC is very, very up there when it comes to being a very competitively viable deck. It is actually seeing regional tops, and it is actually seeing play in the competitive scene, and having cheaper variants, even though the deck wasn't very, very expensive before, it's always welcome. I like having cheaper variants of cards, and I always like having more cards to play with, and more cards to understand and grow and just be better overall in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. Having more reprints of the core set of ABC is going to be fantastic. It's going to be very, very good. Another competitively viable deck that is actually, I think, the second, if not the third best deck in the game, which is True Draco. It's getting a lot of budget support in the way of Card of Demise. Card of Demise, before the reprint drop, was commanding at least a $30 price tag, and after the price tag, it just sort of, after the reprint drop, it kind of just settled down at like $20. It's probably going to still settle down with be at $20 for the ultra rare, and it might be like $10 to $15 for the secret rare that we're getting. However, you can easily pull these, and they're all they can't make everything in the set for short print from what I understand, and even if you pull like maybe 2 or 3, or if you pull just 2, you should be good for getting the third one, or you can just buy singles like I do. But it's still really good that we're getting a reprint of Card of Demise. It's fantastic. It's just overall just good if you've waited so long for True Draco. If you bought the diagrams when they were 22s, and you bought the masterpieces when they were $9, and you just slowly built that deck up, this is a very good deck for you. You have the go ahead for to play this deck. And then another thing that is really going to be good, even if you're not playing a competitively viable deck, but you can still have a decent side deck, is that we're getting 4 of the best hand traps in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! One of them commanded an insane price tag of $80, and now you can probably get that for 3/4 of the price. Maybe just a little bit more. Maybe it'll even be cheaper than that if we're lucky. But I'm not going to hold my breath out too much on that one, though. The card is still incredibly insane, and you can even buy secret rares for half of the price that it used to command, which was $80. You can now buy them for like $40. So a playset for 120 for an Ash Blossoms that you're probably going to be playing regardless is going to be really, really fantastic. And even if Ash Blossom ends up being, let's say, $25, that's still better. That's still $75 for the set. That's better than the $240 that it used to come in like the day before the announcement dropped. So it's really cool. Ghost Ogre, despite its myriad of reprints, it's still commanded a relatively high price. The ultis, you weren't going to get ultis. They commanded a $60 price tag, and they still do. And the super rares, they used to command a $15 price tag, which used to be a bit of a steep slope for a super rare, especially one that you can get from a tin, no less. And it's just overall a really good reprint that we're going to be seeing. So, yeah. Unlike the other ones, Winter Cherries is really good. It wasn't that expensive. It commanded like maybe $10, but having another reprint is always good. Dorlin Lockboard happened to be one of the most expensive rares in the entire game, commanding a $20 price tag before the reprint, and now it's actually just, I think, down to $15. It's still pretty expensive. The super is, though, if you're wanting to get the holo versions of Dorlin Lockboards, you could probably find them for also set 15s at last I checked. And another incredibly viable card right now that is played in side decks as well, and you can even main deck this and it's still not terrible because it's a one-of, Raigeki. Raigeki is receiving a reprint, so it would be it's going to drop the price of all of Raigeki's overall, unless you're like Retro Pack or something, down to like a really significant amount. I think it's going to be secret or soup or ultra rare. If it's ultra rare, that's really good because I think the majority of the set's going to be ultra rare. So you're going to see a lot of these in the meta just being played, which is good. It's really, really good. So other cards that I think that probably could see reprints that probably kind of need it is that don't have very cheap holo variants is a card like Terraforming. Terraforming could be pretty nice as a secret rare. Like, all you really need to do, like, I'm going to talk about the artwork for Terraforming for a little bit. All you need to do is just like make the planet secret foiling, and you mean you make this planet right here secret foiling, and it would look really, really nice. Also, cards like Neo Blue Eyes and Twin Burst, they still command really insane prices despite them not being played. So having reprints of these cards, even despite them not being competitive cards, they're casual cards, would be really nice to see some collector value in the sets as well, because they're supposed to appeal to both casuals and competitive players and the collectors as well. I know I went on a tangent last video about Go Control, about reprinting Go Control cards, but honestly, there's probably benefits in the set that we don't really understand and that we don't need. Another thing I want to talk about is Drag Down from the Grave, or Designator from the Grave. I'm sorry. Designator from the Grave is going to be a super rare in the special edition, and you know what that means? It means that it's going to be absolutely confirmed 100% common in Flames of Destruction, which is actually kind of insane, because you now have also a really good side deck card that you can also obtain and be really good with against hand traps. So if you're not playing a competitively viable deck, you can actually probably take top slots in your locals at the very least, and with at least the surprise factor of having some insane side deck cards like like Designator, Ash Blossom, and Ghost Ogre, and Droll even. All of these cards are competitively are really good cards for side decks. So I would actually recommend that you probably pick these up when they come out. I wouldn't. If you're a casual player that could afford, that has a job and can spend the money on Ash Blossoms when LCO6 drops, I would definitely do so. If you are not, I would trade for them if you can trade them at all. They are going to be very good cards. I would highly recommend that if you're going to be a casual player, or if you want to be a casual player, just making the jump into competitive player, the competitive scene, this is the way to do it. This is going to be one of the very few times that you're going to do it, and this is right before Nationals too. So if you have a Regionals, I would go to it, and if you do very well, you get an invite to Nationals, which is in Texas, which is good. Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you did like this video, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I have a Twitch now, so if you want to go watch me there, link will be in the description below. Also, if you have any suggestions of what cards you would like to see in the set as a reprint, Please let me know in the comment section below. Also, I would like to make it reasonable. So, yeah, this has been Chitilla, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing out.